You.
Well, Steinbach.
Thank you. Yes, thank you for including my married name. Thank you for being on Locks of Laughs.
Thank you so much for having me on Locks of Laughs. My pleasure to be here.
So, when I was doing my research, you have a Wikipedia page. What? Like, wait, hang on. Like, wait. What? That is that I know from experience. I'm trying to get one from my grandfather right now. It is so difficult. How do you have a Wikipedia page?
I don't know. I
You didn't create it?
I was gonna say, like, it's very possible that, like, 20 years ago I did.
Let me
Like, I
just
can't
say.
imagine I've had enough notoriety that somebody else has
Your
created it.
biography is very well written. I'm just going to read it to you. Sarah Lieb is an American composer, jazz vocalist, and educator.
Well, I mean, it's not untrue. What?
It's to the point.
What? Yeah, I don't know. I I think 20 years ago I started it. My
Okay.
understanding is then it like,
People can
they
add
like,
to it.
people, yeah, they do things because I remember at some point, maybe 15 years ago, I was like, there's this thing. It'd be nice if I added it, and then I tried to figure out, and I was like, I don't know how to do these things anymore, and so I haven't. I don't know. Like the
No,
internet
it's
has a life
so
of its
cool.
own.
It's
Oh, I'm
so
well
it's
then.
so
Then I
cool.
have no idea. Maybe I'm famous and somebody wrote it about me. Except I think 20 years ago I started it myself.
No, I mean it looks like someone wrote it about you because it has your song, your original song, If I Could Love Me Through. If I Could Love Me Through.
Right? Yeah, yeah. You know what? It was on a show, and I think people who liked the show
South of
liked
Nowhere.
the
I
song.
Oh my god, I
Yeah.
used to know that show. That was on the N, right? Or something like.
Uh-huh. Mhm.
Oh my
I
god, I
think it
used to
was,
love that show. Wait, I want to get into that, but before we do, what are you
but
noshing
I
on?
don't know anything about it. Oh my gosh. What?
You don't know
I
anything.
was mouthing to her because I was like, I don't know. It was on the show. This was a very long time ago. And I
But I
thought it was,
used to watch that show. I
oh, well
I'm
then I'm cool.
I'm gonna bring up that show. What are you noshing on today?
Okay, it was really exciting that I got that prompt because I have first I there's two things. You know me and food. Like, all I know is food and wine and music, and so I figured that's what we talk about. But wait, what were you say?
I just want to talk about wine with you because I have a lot to learn as my husband's food. But tell me what you're noshing on,
I was
or this
so
idea.
right now I'm noshing, not literally at this moment, but in general, I'm noshing on two things.
Okay.
One is beef jerky because I've begun making it.
Of course. Of
Of
course you
course I
have. Of
Yeah, yeah.
course you have. Every time I see you or speak to you, it's like I'm making soap, I'm painting, I'm I'm
That's right.
making beef jerky.
I so I got in the pandemic, I got, like, I think everybody has pandemic skills, and
Yeah.
that's a skill that you acquired in the pandemic. There's nothing else to do, and in the pandemic, I was so busy because everybody was like, teach online." So, like,
Right.
all I did
Mhm.
was teach online, that in the other parts of my day, I had to do something or I was gonna go crazy. So, like, I mean, I think if music is your life and it's your hobby, at
Mhm.
some point I went like, "Uh-oh." Like,
Right,
it's
right,
everything.
right,
I need
right.
to do
You
something
need
else.
like an outlet.
Exactly. So in the pandemic, there's this guy who I follow, sort of, if there is a God, he was Jonathan Gold, the amazing food writer who has
Mhm.
now passed. He worked for, the LA Times, and before that he worked for, what's it called? The Free Magazine here in LA. He's
Mm.
amazing. Since that person has now passed, even though he and I shared some meals together, who's like my idol. My new idol is a guy named J. Kenji Lopez Alt. He's a food writer and a guy who understands food science, and he wrote a book
Mm.
called The Wok. And I got into wok cooking because I love Thai food and I love Chinese food and I generally love Asian and South Asian food so much that, like, I was cooking it in my own kitchen in the pandemic when you couldn't really do anything but order in or take out,
Right, right, right.
and like, not the heat wasn't getting high enough, so he
Mm.
recommended this outdoor walk setup, and I spent years in the pandemic, like, trying to get the heat high enough to to get that. And then also in the pandemic, but a little bit later, he released a book called The Walk. So between that and then um I love my kitchen, but there's not a lot of counter space. So I always wanted to get a food dehydrator, but my wife said no because there wasn't enough counter space. And then I was gifted one. It was just given away. Somebody wanted to get rid of it, and I was like, "Well, you want to get rid of it.
Really? Or
Clearly, I can make the
did they
space."
ask
No, no,
you?
no. It really was given away to me, so I keep it
Okay.
when I'm not using it above the dog's crate because there's no room in the kitchen counter. And that's how I discovered making pasture raised beef jerky.
That is amazing. I've I can't say that I've ever
I'm a
met
good friend
someone
to
that's made
have.
their own
People are
jerky.
getting good batches, they're getting okay batches. People are like, "Oh, I would have paid like $60 for this."
No,
I'm
you're a
like,
great friend to have. Just
"Thank you."
on top of, the food, wine, everything. You're incredible to talk to, and I know firsthand when I've gone through something, you have been incredible.
Oh, thanks.
Even though we met uh, because I came to you
Because
for
you were
lessons.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Um,
You've
I
seen
well
me through so many exes, I feel like.
but I feel like it was mostly Scott.
Mostly, yeah,
But
mostly.
there
I
were yeah,
understand.
you're right. There are exes. Well, it's a funny thing that like even voice teachers ourselves make jokes about voice teaching that like I say like 1 in 12 is a therapy
Yeah.
session and like 11 out of 12 we're actually doing what I'm getting paid for and we're singing and you the client are doing the work, but
Mhm.
it's true that a lot of the time singing, you can't see the hardware like you can on a guitar, and it can be such
Right.
emotional work that sometimes people are like, "Well, I'm singing about this," and then they have to tell you about it before
Yeah,
you
I
can actually get into this to the actual work. So, um, that is how we got to know each other, and then you gifted me your cookbook that you wrote with your
That's
mom, right?
right. Well, that was with Scott's mom.
Oh, it was? Oh, I didn't realize
Yeah.
that. Okay, yep,
I'm actually no
now that
longer
makes
a
sense.
part of that cookbook anymore. Like, I have it on
I see.
display, like the
Like, this is
original
something I've
cover,
done, but I'm not
but I'm not involved anymore
I
with
sort of feel that's exactly like my Wikipedia page.
And that's brilliant.
I
Wait,
mean, that's
but how did your song end up on a show South of Nowhere that you didn't want? Like, what was the process of that?
okay, so I've always written a lot of music, sort of like composed a lot of stuff for myself,
Mhm.
and I think as a musician, as you know, or even just as an entertainer in general, your life and career has sort of taken you in so many directions.
Mhm.
There When there are things you're good at, you sort of have to like take the opportunities that come.
Mhm.
And for a long time, probably, it just ages and dates me, but maybe like 20, I swear that was her, it was
Yeah, that was me. I'm
not
so
me.
sorry. I don't know how I forgot to put my phone on vibrate, but I mean on silent,
I'm
but I
just
just did it
teasing, it's
now. I'm
okay. It's
so
okay. I'm
sorry.
just teasing, I don't care.
Keep
Um,
talking to me.
um, like, I don't when did I get out of college? Like, just over 20 years ago. So, 22 years ago.
All
22
you
years
have to
ago.
do is go to her Wikipedia page. It's gonna tell
Oh,
you when she was
jeez.
born.
It just keeps coming up. Okay, so 22 years ago when I was out of college, I was like, I'm a singer, I'm a jazz singer, I write, I do studio work, like, and then when somebody hired me for something, I was like, great, now I really do this because people pay me to do it. Um,
Mhm.
and I was doing a lot of writing of music that was sort of poppy and singer-songwriter stuff.
Mhm.
Um, in addition to the touring I was doing with and recording I was doing with my jazz ensemble. So uh, I was looking for now I think post-pandemic, a lot of singer-songwriters who either don't wanna be on tour because they're starting families or don't wanna be on tour because touring is a huge pain, um,
Mhm.
you know, I basically since 9/11, but in general, and it's a
Mhm.
hard way to make a living. A lot of people are submitting their songs for sync, in movie and television, and at the time, I was looking to do that for a very short time, and that one song I wrote, got on this television show, which was pretty cool, and, a little life of its own, so little there's sort of little pockets of
Mhm.
life now
Were you like, "I
I'm
made it, my song is on a TV show," like,
on a
I can't go I
cable.
have to, like, block my face on the street, people are gonna come up to me. Like, that would be me.
On a cable network that, maybe paid for, like, one musician to record? No, but, it's nice. I mean, look here, it shows up here, so that's
And I knew the
that's
show
cool.
though, that's the thing, like, I watched it 20 years ago when it was on, so it's not as if it's some, like, I don't know how many seasons the show had, but it's not as if it's like a 10 episode, like, failed TV show, which, by the way, some of those are still really
Yeah,
awesome
well, I
because
mean,
a
they're
lot of
my
them are.
one of my favorite shows in history. Only I think they started the season and then it was gone, and now I can't even get a recording of it. I bought it on DVD years ago on eBay, and then I lent that to someone, and now I don't have it. It was called
Wait,
Huff. It was on Showtime. It was called Huff. It was such an amazing show. It was by
yeah, I wanna look
I don't
let's
know
look
who
that up. I wanna, because I want, Huff. I'm
it
looking
was.
it
The
up.
guy the guy who was the star was on Hank Azaria. So it was Hank
Yeah.
Azaria, Paget Brewster, Oliver Platt was in it, and Blythe Danner. It
Oh
was
my god.
and he plays a therapist. It's an incredible show. If you can find it anywhere
Anton Yelchin.
just yep. Yep.
What do you
It
know why
was
it was canceled
I don't
21 years ago?
just
The
it
monster.
feels it was just now. It just I talked to my dad. My dad, this is gonna sound crazy, but I'm in therapy with my dad. He's
Why is that
80.
crazy?
It's actually really quite wonderful,
Yeah.
because, can spend a whole lifetime not knowing someone and then go to therapy with them and all of a sudden feel seen. So that's
Oh.
great. But my dad, we have a couples therapist for father-daughter.
Yeah.
Um, what was the point? Oh
Huff.
yeah. So he's 80 and he's like, oh my gosh, I feel 27. I feel 15. And I'm like, ugh, I know what that feels like. I also feel 27 and sometimes 15 at 40. I was gonna say 41, but I'm 43. Um, and yeah, it feels like that show was like just canceled just a number of years ago, but it was great. Huff, Buffy, um,
Buffy,
6 Feet
yeah.
Under are some
Mhm.
of like for me like formative
I could never
television
get
shows.
into, you know what? I have to give 6 Feet Under a try, a
Oh,
real
so
try, because
good.
every
Yep.
time I've tried to watch it, it's been someone has said to me, "You have to watch the series finale. I'll play it right
Oh,
now." So
no!
I've seen the series finale a
No,
thousand
don't want you
times.
can't oh,
I've never seen the
no.
actual show.
That's like watching the Buffy musical without knowing Buffy, like, it
Right.
doesn't people people were like, they either loved the finale or they didn't. I was not one of the people who was like, "Oh, the 6
Oh,
Feet Under finale is so amazing." It wasn't I didn't dislike it. I
it
just
just wasn't, yeah, people say that it's like the epitome of perfect TV writing, and
meh. The series was beautiful and
maybe I should try and get
introspective.
into it.
Yeah, I loved the series.
Well, now you have to tell me your very favorite show of all time. Is it Huff or what is it?
No, it'd probably be Buffy. I'm
Buffy is a good one. It's weird that it's like
so glad
such
you
a
think so.
classic and it was based on an 80s movie
Mhm.
without Sarah Michelle Gellar.
True, but did you know there is apparently a reboot in coming up in the mix? I don't know if it's filmed yet, but they've talked about it, and that's very
Yeah,
exciting for me.
that would be exciting if it's done well. What I don't like about reboots is when they sort of they ruin the original characters by changing them in
No,
the
you
reboot.
can't do that. Well, like, the Dexter, which of course I watched Dexter because I like, uh, what's his name? The actor from it
What's
from
it?
6
Yeah,
Feet
yeah, yeah,
Under.
the dude.
Uh I feel like the Dexter reboots are cool. I mean, here's the thing. I'm not involved in television. I
Mhm.
have people who I know and am related to who I talk to my opinions about TV, and then they just school me. They will lay me flat and be like, "Well, this and no, no, no. And when it was past season this, it was terrible because this guy left and this show, no, 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 but blah, blah, blah." And
Mhm.
I'm like, okay, well, I'm loyal. I mean, I was watching stupid, what do you call it? Like Grey's Anatomy till like 5 years ago. I like finally fell off. I know I didn't
Wow.
even like it, but I felt like I'm a loyal person.
Yeah,
Like
I give I sometimes so now that we have the luxury of streaming, you know, within the last 10 years it's really
uh-huh.
picked up. Now that I have that, I feel like I research the ending to shows, so I know like what couples end up together, XYZ, what happens, who gets killed
You
off.
want to know that stuff? Do you read the last page of a book before you start it too?
I used to actually. Yeah, I did in 3rd grade. I did that and I got in trouble. But I got in
Wait, how'd
trouble,
they
but
know?
also I was praised for like my I got in trouble,
Your
but
assertiveness.
I was praised for like the audacity, I guess,
Yeah.
to like, oh, how that's very, I don't know, thoughtful.
That I
But
could see like a little mini you doing that. I love that.
I
I know
once
what
read a
happens at
book
the end.
backwards and that was horrible.
Huh.
And I got that idea from Boy Meets World. It didn't make sense. It made no sense. I don't even remember the book and I don't remember anything about it. But I'm loyal up until a certain point. If I research the show Younger with Hilary Duff and
I've heard of it. I haven't seen that.
what's her
Sorry.
face from Broadway, who I love, but I can't remember her
Hmm.
name right now. Sutton,
Sutton Foster?
yep, Sutton Foster. She's on it or
Uh-huh.
was on it. I watched that up until like 2 episodes into the last season. I was like, this feels like they're doing something that I'm not gonna like. So I researched who ended up together, what happened, yada, yada,
Uh-huh.
and I didn't like it. So I was like, I'm gonna pause it here and I'm gonna end my time
So you
because
can like it can be wonderful and happy and great.
exactly, I
And
don't want it to end. I don't like cliffhangers.
huh.
So if you end something with like a the end question mark, I don't want that. I want this is the end of their story and it's happily ever after.
Oh,
That's why I
interesting.
love
I'm
Disney movies.
I'm a little bit the opposite. I
Mm,
sort of it's not I mean like cliffhangers just keep me on my toes, but also yeah, sometimes I like life isn't like that. You never know what's going to happen. So
that's why
I'm
but I
sort of
don't wanna watch life in a movie. Like, I can watch Titanic or Schindler's List every so often, but, like, I'm gonna put on Aladdin and The Little Mermaid, like, a lot. Peter
my
Pan,
my wife is the same way. Comedy, she only wants comedy. She's like this is depressing. Why would I want more depressing
that's
things?
that's why I love
And
Christmas
that's all I
movies.
watch. I
You
like Christmas music. I mean, we're Jews, of
love
course we
Yeah,
like
I know,
Christmas
we wrote
music.
it.
I
Of
know.
course we love Christmas music. What's
November 1st to January 2nd, it's all Christmas music. My 10-year-old, like, she knows she loves all the songs.
Uh-huh.
Even songs that aren't Christmas music songs end up with different words going to Christmas,
Wait,
like,
give
"I
me an
love my
example.
dog today. She's looking so cute. She just nuzzled under her blanket. Do, 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 do," that kinda
Oh my gosh, that's so cute. That is so cute. How is your doggy too, by the way?
Dog's good. I
Still
have
biting feet?
well, I have taken to locking her in to the house,
Oh, okay.
when I have clients. So if there's an in-person client or as many of
Mhm.
them,
Mhm. Mhm.
she's locked in for several hours a day. But that's what you got to do when you own a dog that bites children and people's
Oh,
ankles.
children too. Not just I thought I was
She's not great
special.
with
I thought it was
children.
just oh, okay.
She's
How old is that dog?
7. She's lovely. She's very cute, but she's not the
Oh,
best behaved. And I was the one who
it
took her to
happens.
stuff. I took her to classes, but my wife and kid were not amazing about like.
Following through. Mhm.
hmm
We had to send our dog to like a 10-day like sleepaway training thing. That was the
I've
third
heard people do
trainer.
that.
We had to
But did
because
they
we
listen to
weren't
them and then not to you?
He's amazing. No, he listens to us because on the 10th day, or no, on the 10th day, we went there to pick him up and we went through the training in
Uh-huh.
their gym, in their facility.
Uh-huh.
And then what's included is they'll come to you 3 times to your house. So they'll like do the same thing that they train them to do in their
Mhm.
facility in your home.
This sounds
So
so
he learns
expensive.
to, well, it was, I don't
Yeah, yeah.
remember.
Listen, it's okay. I have a friend who has the fancy dog trainer, and once my dog was not well trained, she insisted that I get this fancy dog trainer, and I did. The fancy dog trainer was worth every penny.
Oh, there you
Still
go.
no follow
Okay.
through from my wife and kid, but with me
Right,
it
right.
was
It's their
amazing.
fault.
Yeah,
It's
well,
their fault.
he taught me to do some he was amazing. I mean, he it's not like he knew the dog. He immediately we well, worked with him more than once, but like because he's
Mhm.
from out of town, so when he was in town, he'd come. But like he walked in the door first time meeting the dog, and the like, how do you have like a je ne sais quoi with dogs?
Je ne sais
But like the way, the way he could like work the room, like whatever,
Work the do
like
yeah.
he just had a presence
Guess he
about him,
got
and the
to it,
dog
yeah.
shut the heck up. You said
Interesting.
no
I
cursing,
wonder
so
oh, yeah.
that
I mean,
dog
if it
really
comes out, it comes out and we
it
can bleep
well,
it, but,
it
like,
does of me, but I I can as long as somebody tells me the rules, I can play by them. If I don't
we try
know
to
the
keep
rules,
it we try to keep
yeah.
it fun and, you know. I wanna circle back to something
Mhm.
that you said about TV and or I think it was just TV that, like, you know people, you're related to people that have schooled you on TV and
Well, I
things you
live in
don't know
LA,
behind it.
you know, people work in TV here.
Right. So what I was going to say is that you are one of the few people when they say, "Oh, I know XYZ and they told me this," I actually believe it because LA, I was there for 15 years and it's
Mhm.
full of people that are like, "Oh, I know Zac Efron." And it's like I served him his latte. I don't know him, you know? But you, when I come to you, when I would come in for my voice lessons and I would choose an audition piece or something, and you would say, "Oh, I know someone used it, got booked with that song, got booked with it. You could too." And it was just so, it's like I now that my follow up is maybe you can't even tell us this. I don't know if you're even allowed to release this, but
What?
who's your like for some reason I want to use the word sassy, but that's not right. Who's your most well-known, I don't want to say client, but person that you know?
Person who I know? Huh. Let me think about
Give us
let's
give
circle
us the
back to it
tea.
'cause well, I I mean, so okay, here's the thing. Everybody always wants to know like who are your cool clients? I think all my clients are cool. But I had recently it was a 14-year-old kid and he was so sweet and he sang so beautifully and he
Mm.
just couldn't wait to hear about um who my famous clients were. And I was like, go online. You can see them if they've given me quotes. But then also I like picked a couple names and he was like, I don't know who that is. I mean, he looked at me like,
He
who's
was
that?
expecting you to say like Ariana Grande or
Yeah, I'm
something.
like, I don't know. I don't work with Ariana Grande. She's amazing, but
She's not a jazz
she's not
singer.
right.
She probably
So
honestly, she probably has that talent in her
she could
repertoire,
kill
you
that
know,
too.
like
Listen,
she
she's
like
got
at
every
this point
one
she's a
pinky,
professional
she's
ice
got
skater
more
too.
than
Yeah.
I know you can do. Clearly she does everything perfectly. But but I would to me, I'm always like, why don't people ask me like who was the suckiest and
Oh,
how
that's a
great
good
did I
question.
make them? Because I'm
Wait.
like, listen, one time there was this guy and he came in and all he wanted was lessons. He just wanted to sing and like not a singer. I'm not one of those people who thinks you can sing or you can't sing or like a lot of people consider themselves quote tone deaf end quote. You're not. Most people aren't tone deaf. They just don't have
You've never
experience
met my
matching
grandma.
pitch. Some people are tone deaf, but like
Mhm.
I think it's a much smaller percentage of people than who claim it.
Mhm.
But anyway, this guy could not match pitch when he came,
Oh.
and all he wanted to do was sing. He was a teenager, so no names or whatever,
Oh.
but he
Okay.
yeah, sweetest kid. And I was like, "Look, it's gonna take probably 6 months of ear training, like, and you'll have to practice several days a week before we can get into some real singing. But you have the capability to do that." And what I mean is, most people aren't tone deaf. They just,
Mhm.
don't have experience matching pitch. They did sports growing up, and not playing piano or being sung to by their parents or whatever. So,
Right, but isn't there like natural talent when it comes to
of
singing too?
course, and
Like,
that's
can you
yeah,
teach that or no?
you
I'm
can't
trying to
teach
look this
talent, but you can teach and acquire skill.
Mhm.
Um, for example, like I don't think I'm necessarily amazing at cooking or food or like putting flavors together. But my whole life, like when I was a kid, I'd be like, Mom, can I lick the spoon? And she'd be like, if you watch me make the cake. So I had to watch her make the cake and then I could lick the spoon. So like I had all this experience doing it. and
Mhm.
now and I love doing it. So I think
Uh-huh.
music, yes, it's talent. I hate the word talent. It's like you're born with it, you have it, you don't have it. Like to
Mhm.
me, m- s- so much of the time, success in music is how hard you work at it.
Right, of
Um,
course.
I mean,
And a
it's
little
like
bit
that
of
in
luck, right? Like I
absolutely.
feel like luck is in the industry over honestly, it is how hard you work, of course, and I am not negating that at all. That's incredibly important. But you could be the most talented, the
Mhm,
hardest worker,
mhm.
but not get that lucky shot or that
Oh,
lucky
oh,
chance.
totally. Well, it depends on what your idea of success is, right?
Right.
Like
Mhm.
I'm not necessarily talking about success as fame or success as
Right.
huge amounts of money. To me, success is like I can make a living and feed my family by being a musician or like that's
That's
to me
exactly
that's like
right.
at this point it's 2025. The fact that you can like live
Pay your bill.
and
Right,
yeah,
exactly.
that's
Like
that's wonderful. That's
can
all
you
I
buy a
need.
carton of eggs? Like you have made it. Like you're a millionaire. You're
Yeah,
doing
yeah.
so well.
You can buy eggs. Oh my gosh.
But
Wow.
that's
Can I come
exactly
over?
I know. Come on over. Just get on a
Mhm,
plane.
mhm. I
But by the
recently
way,
somebody came for
you are
breakfast.
welcome.
Why, thank you.
Of
I somebody
course.
came for breakfast and I made her eggs.
Mazel mazel.
I was like,
Um,
you want 2 eggs or 3?" And I don't remember what she said, but we just couldn't stop laughing about it. I was like, "Oh, we got eggs,"
yeah, you have to
it's cool.
ration them.
So
Actually,
I'm not like a huge eggs person. I love them baked into things, and I'll eat an egg. I don't hate eggs,
right.
but I'm not like, "Oh, you know what?" Like, I'm also not a breakfast person. I sort of don't eat it. It's weird.
You're saying
Um,
so many hurtful things to me
I
right
know
now.
so I have an admission. I was thinking yesterday, I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna be on this podcast, and there's a thing that Ashley might not know about me." And because of the name of the podcast, and because of the prompt, which was about food, I was like, "Oh God, should I admit it? Should I not admit it?" There's a lot
Say
she
it.
does know about. I don't like locks.
I also really hate locks.
Do you?
Yes, I hate it.
I think it's terrible. Not to yuck anybody else's yum. Like I love that other people like it, but I dislike it so
No, I
much.
hate it. I really actually hate it.
Yeah,
It's
tinned
not it doesn't
fish is big right now, lox, like, anything that has that like, I like fish when it's fresh
yeah,
and
I
doesn't taste
do.
like fish.
Right, it can't taste like fish and it can't be like fishy or slimy or
Exactly,
anything.
exactly. Yep,
But no, I love sushi, love raw fish, but there's something about also on a toasted bagel with cream cheese, how dare you? It's
it's a
rude.
perfect yeah, I cream cheese, tomato, I'm happy with, cucumber too. I didn't
What?
grow onion?
Ugh,
I know, I know.
blasphemy.
Well, here's the thing, that I think is sort of blasphemy. I didn't grow up with capers
Wait,
on
how though?
bagels. Like,
Wait, why?
cape
I love capers.
I like capers, they're fine. I just, like they never came on bagels when I was a kid. Now I just feel like they're everywhere, and I like, was this a thing? Is this a Jewish thing? Did I miss it? Am I what?
It might be an East Coast Jewish
Okay.
thing
Mhm,
because if lox was served, more than likely capers were served with
mhm,
the cream cheese and bagels, but not like at home if it was like casual, and not like I don't know, break fast or something.
mhm.
We wouldn't have
Oh my
capers.
gosh, you guys do bagels and lox for breakfast too? My parents do too, and I'm always like, "It's a holiday, can't we do something, like, festive?" And they're like, "This is festive."
We had a side of bagels and lox. We had we had everything. Latkes, kugel. I think we had like French
So,
toast
like,
at one,
Jewish
challah
food
French
from
toast, like
across yeah.
everything. I
Like,
mean,
Pan the Holiday was your breakfast. Like, if it's eaten by a Jew somewhere in the world, it's getting served at your
It's
breakfast.
been there. Yeah. I'll tell you even
Mm. Is there matzo ball too? Because I'm in.
for breakfast, no, but
No,
for
you probably have that the night before.
yeah,
No, no,
for
no.
a Seder for Passover,
Yeah, sure.
yes. I have to send you my matzo ball recipe soup. Wait, no, I have
Oh,
to I have to send you my matzo ball soup recipe.
I would
It's
love it. And
so good.
can we talk about matzo balls? Because this past year
Yes.
I did duck fat matzo balls. You're
See,
looking
yeah, like every time I talk to you, I learn something new. I'm like,
So don't put oil in, put duck fat in.
Where
Oh
do I get duck
my
fat though?
goddess. Like a poultry butcher, or
Let me just
if you
call my
make
poultry butcher.
so I make like this 48-hour sous vide duck confit, and I keep the duck fat and let it harden.
So I have to make duck. Oh, okay.
I mean,
So you're telling me you don't
clearly I
cook,
have
but
too
you're
much
like
time on my
making
hands.
these like you're
No, I do
making these
cook. I do cook.
elaborate French dishes.
Well, yeah,
What's your
it's
favorite
fun.
baked good that your wife
It's my
makes?
hobby. My favorite what?
Your favorite baked good that your wife makes?
Oh, okay. She's been making well, okay. Can I pick 3?
You can pick 3.
Because you're in Florida, I'm gonna start with key lime pie.
Oh, yum. Oh my god.
Because key lime pie is easy. It's made of like nothing. There's a
Yeah.
graham cracker crust. It's
Mhm.
freaking like eggs, key lime juice, and the milk, sweetened condensed milk. It's
Yeah.
okay, 4 things. But like the fact that
Mm.
she's always, when I'm always like, oh, I love it so much, we make it. She's always like, yeah, in like 10 minutes. Like, you just have to go buy me key limes. Like, she's like, the biggest thing about key lime pie is I have to stand there and juice the key limes. But like,
Right.
so to her that's like nothing. It's like it's like making chocolate chip cookies. She's like, whatever, sure, I'll make it for you. So that I
Wow.
love
Okay.
it. It's tart. Oh god, it's
Mm.
one of my favorites.
Do you put whipped cream on it?
Sometimes, like if she's serving it to people and it's dessert, yeah, she'll
I love whipped
not on
cream.
the whole thing, but like per piece. But
Mhm.
she makes her own whipped cream. A lot of people just it out of the can.
Oh my goodness.
I know,
She's a gem.
we don't mess around here. Um, I love she's make this chocolate tart that's really, really good.
Ooh.
I feel about desserts. So you know how people get like Breyer's ice cream, like the big things, it's like a half a
Yeah.
gallon. I
Mhm.
don't eat
Yeah,
it.
they're like
I
you
don't
don't.
I don't need it. I don't want Breyers. I don't want dryers. I don't want anything that comes in a huge thing. It's full of air. Like if I'm gonna eat
Mhm.
it, it should have calories that could like I should have to do an entire workout just to work off these calories. Like I want it rich. I want it
Mhm.
deep. So the
Yes.
chocolate tart and cheesecake.
Are we still talking about food? Oh yeah, chocolate. Yes.
we were. We were.
We were.
Um, but yeah. Um,
Okay, number
I
3.
love a rich dessert. So those are my favorite 3. She got
Wait,
some
what's the third one? The
a
tart,
chocolate tart and cheesecake.
a cheesecake. Oh, wait, what kind? New York or Italian?
Oh, New York for sure. Like, do
Okay.
not gild the lily. I don't want. There's a place in LA.
Uh-huh.
It's in Inglewood called Harriet's Cheesecake, and it is so
Ooh.
amazing. And everybody loves.
Mhm.
Well, they love all of the cheesecakes, but they're. I mean, they make like all these flavors. It's amazing. But I feel that cheesecake does not need gilding. Um, what do you call it? It's this amazing, it's like got nuts. Hold on, I'll think of it.
This is a flavor?
Yeah, of cheesecake that they make. It's got caramel and nuts. It's so great. To me,
Ooh,
though, I like their regular, I think they call it vanilla or plain. It's just their plain cheesecake. It's so good. So if you're in LA and you want a good cheesecake and you do not have a wife who's going to make it for you, go to Harriet's Cheesecakes. It is by far the best I've found, like by
Okay.
far in a way. But you know, I like a good rich cheesecake, even the ones that come frozen at Trader Joe's, like
So
pretty
you
delicious.
really like the consistency of all 3 of your favorite desserts that she makes are
Yes.
similar.
Yeah,
Chocolate tart.
if you put something in it, it should stick up. It should be rich, delicious. I want an ice cream that's like
Mhm.
Haagen-Dazs. I want a Jenny's. I want it to be like rich, full fat, freaking I want after to feel like, "Oh,
Mhm.
I can't eat anymore.
Like
It's
salt and
so
straw.
yummy." Salt and straw. Yeah, I prefer Jenny's.
Okay, I prefer
But
salt
yes,
and straw.
we're all entitled to our wrong opinions. It's fine.
But I when I have a
There's
favorite
chocolate brownie's
flavor,
good. Uh-huh.
I haven't had that one, but when I have a favorite flavor, I don't stray. So when I go to
Uh,
Salt and Straw and they
you
oh, I
just
don't
get
know if they have
one.
one here. They have one in Miami. I don't know about Del Rey, but I either get their vanilla, which I think it's called double churned vanilla,
Oh,
I
yeah.
think. It's stunning. It's
It's
so
good. I've had it.
creamy, and their lavender. I love
Mm.
lavender infused anything almost.
I like like lavender.
I love
I do like
lavender.
lavender. My wife doesn't. She thinks it makes her think of like soapy. But if you like lavender, you'd probably like rosemary.
I love rosemary. I
Yeah, like
love rosemary.
okay, so this rosemary, there's a cookie. It's a shortbread.
Oh my God.
It's a Smitten Kitchen recipe. Just got you got so excited by
Oh
the
my God, I'm so
shortbread idea. I turned the heater on in here. Let me just turn it off because woo, it's hot. It was cold when I came into my studio, but it's just a shortbread cookie with rosemary. It's stunning. That's another thing my wife makes that I make. Oh, speaking of,
What?
it was just Purim,
Yes.
and I don't know about you, but Hamantaschen to me are super feh. People always make them. It's like I've never had one that I'm like, oh my god, you know what I can't wait to eat? A Hamantaschen.
Yeah.
Frickin' never. But so I keep talking about I want her to make a shortbread in the shape of a triangle with a little divot inside, and I'll put like a yummy jam in or something. Wouldn't that be good? Because then you want to eat it.
Yeah, that's honestly, I understand what you mean. I'm actually in the same boat. It's not my favorite Jew food, and we don't have a lot to like go on when it comes to like delicious food, but that's certainly not one that I brag about.
It's not gorgeous, our food. It's a homey.
It's very homey.
You don't look at a bagel and go like, let's put that on Instagram. I mean, there are a couple
Oh
places
no,
now
I
in
do
LA,
that.
but
I do
do you?
that. I no, bagels are sexy. Bagels and cream cheese, ugh, delish. Like let's go to bed. But like
I
gefilte
think of bagels
fish.
as more like dad bod, but you know.
Yeah, but a dad bod can be good.
Oh, totally.
Like look at Leo
Bagels are
DiCaprio.
good. All right,
Yeah,
all right.
bagels are. We need to turn this into an old school SAT story.
Yeah,
Like
bagels to
dad bod or Leonardo DiCaprio to. No, I think I'm doing it wrong.
I don't know, I'm gay. You gotta take this one.
I'll get back to you on it.
Okay.
I'll get back to you on it because my husband is in fact listening to this right now and he probably will appreciate it.
Hi, Scott.
Sarah says hi, by the way. Oh, he's napping. Can you hear me?
In your kitchen?
In the living room.
Oh.
We have a house now. We're
That's
homeowners.
so awesome.
This is our first time owning a
Mazel
home.
tov.
Thank you.
What a thing. It's gonna be
Nuts.
so fun until stuff starts breaking.
I know. We had the
But like
pet
everything
center.
behind you looks really new. Great. Give it 10 years. Then you're gonna be
My
like, oh my
coffee
god, I have to
machine.
buy a new microwave drawer or a fancy. It was so great that I got this amazing refrigerator that like, spurts water right into my cup, and then it breaks and you're like, what am I gonna do?
Yeah, one thing I'll say is that where we were in LA, I loved where we were in LA. We were in Redondo Beach. We had a townhouse. We were renting. The washer and we were there for a little over 3 years, and the washer and dryer that we had in our unit there, the townhouse, we hated it. It broke down all the time. Sometimes it just like wouldn't work. It didn't even break down. It just wouldn't start. And at one point they replaced it. Then they kept sending vendors out to fix it. They couldn't fix it. And right before we were moving out, like before we decided we were moving to Florida, a vendor came to check it out again. And he said, it's so interesting. This is the most difficult washer dryer unit maybe in the world. It's an Italian company. In order to fix one little thing, you have to take apart the entire dryer. And he goes, and they're just so expensive. And I was like, wait a minute. They put an expensive washer dryer in this unit and it breaks down all the time? What? And none of it made sense. That's my story.
So my dad he was an architect. He actually was trained as an architect and he came to LA to work with Richard Neuter, which is really cool, but he made a living in furniture. He owned and designed healthcare furniture.
Ooh,
and
cool.
So as a designer, the guy has lots of ideas. So he is a person who can make the most beautiful design for something. but it will take 5 years.
Too long.
So I joke with him about like this stuff because he's 80 and I hope he's around for a really, really long time. Both
Yeah.
my parents, thankfully, are healthy and alive. But
Mazel.
it's thank you. But one, he'll be like, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. And we got this wrought iron artist to do the stuff. And I'm like, Dad, when you're not around and I have to take care of this, like, there's not going to be a wrought iron artist to fix the thing when it's like, what? And so the joke is I'm going to have to like fly to Italy and go to some little town and find the guy because the guy who my dad
Yeah.
used is so old and decrepit now and he doesn't use email. And so I'm going to, he's going to fashion the thing. And then a year later, I'm going to have to go back to because he doesn't know how to ship it. It's just going to be a mess. But he has good taste, that guy.
What a morbid beginning to like a happy, funny, semi-joyous ending.
Thank you. I mean, it's fun to joke. I don't know. Do you not
No. Dark humor.
do you not joke
I
about
dig it.
death? I don't know.
To a degree, I do. Like I make
But
jokes
maybe your
about like the
parents aren't that
Titanic.
old.
I make jokes about like the Titanic and stuff, but like I don't know. I feel like I joke more, and now I just feel like my listeners are gonna get so annoyed with this because I bring it up a lot. I joke more about like diarrhea than I do death. The other D.
Okay. Do you know
Do
the
you have a good
Sarah
story?
Silverman diarrhea joke?
Oh no, story.
Okay, so
Wait,
apparently the joke
I think I know about her sister in college.
No.
Oh wait.
That one. I'll
Okay.
tell this one, then you tell that one.
Okay.
Okay.
I won't tell it the way Sarah can though.
I could never. She's perfection.
No, she's amazing.
So, when you go to a pool and there's a sign that says anyone who has had diarrhea in the past, whatever, anyone who has active diarrhea shall not use the pool.
Yes.
And then there's a little thing under it that says, or within the past 2 weeks has had diarrhea.
Mm-hmm.
And then Sarah says, basically, they're just saying no Jews allowed.
Yeah, we all have IBS. That's so true. No, so true. That's so how anti-Semitic.
Of the sign, right?
Terrible of the sign.
I know.
How
How dare they?
Also, by the way, if you haven't had diarrhea in 2 weeks, like something, I don't know. For me, I'd think something.
You're not going out to eat enough.
Yeah, right? Have you had shrimp? Like, it should really upset you if it's made incorrectly enough. I keep ordering raw chicken at restaurants.
What? She's
They
joking.
call me a liability. No, she told a joke years ago, and it wasn't about diarrhea, but it was about her little sister in college who was so drunk that she was throwing up in a bathroom stall. And all of a sudden, in her drunken stupor, like blurred vision, can't see, can't really hear, when you're so just horrible.
Luckily, I have not experienced that in a really long time.
Oh, yeah, not since last Tuesday. But for Sarah's little sister, she was in a skirt, and while she was vomiting, she felt her underwear being pulled down.
What?
And she was getting scared because she was so drunk she couldn't fight anything. And then she realized she had shit her pants. And that's and Sarah Silverman tells it so
she has the best
wonderfully
timing.
yeah, and she's stone cold with the delivery, and it's so funny. I remember hearing it and laughing so hard. I love her. She's so funny.
She performs sometimes almost every month at Largo, and we go hear her as absolutely often as possible.
I saw her once live do a show where she was smoking, like
really,
she was toking up
weed?
the whole time. Yeah,
whole that
show,
sounds
and
like her.
No, but that was like the point of the show. Like you had to sign something to say like if you get secondhand
it's okay.
smoke. Yeah, it was like right when weed was legal in California. I think you still needed a license actually. To get
I remember that time.
Okay, before we wrap up, Sarah.
It's been so fun. I can't even believe that it's time to wrap up.
We were just like chatting about. We were just catching up, honestly. This was so fun. Where can
Likewise.
everyone find you?
Well, these days, as you well know, make my living mostly as a vocal coach and voice teacher, and I'm really happy doing
And
it.
she's really good at it, by the way,
Well,
you guys. She's
thank
really,
you.
really good at it.
Thank you. If you haven't heard Ashley sing, it's one of her many, many talents.
Oh.
You can see her cook and you can see her comedy and you can see all of her fun stuff, as you know, because that's how you're listening to this in the first place. But yeah, you can catch me at voicestudiola.com. Or if you watch, that show on the N Network, you can listen to a
South
song
of
I wrote 20
Nowhere.
years ago. But yeah, that's me, voicestudiola.com.
And do you think you'll ever bring your beef jerky to a farmer's market? Like, do you think you're gonna go all out and get your like cottage food license and go the distance?
Listen, I've had ideas for a beef jerky company. I have wanted to make an oleosaccharum company. None of them, the way I do them, I think are financially viable because I
Mm-hmm.
only want to buy and use pasture raised meat, and you would lose like
Mm.
almost like 70% through like through drying it, like the water's gone. So
Mm-hmm.
it would be prohibitively costly. But I mean, in LA, there's room for that. You could sell it for like $120 a pound at Erewhon or some
Yeah. You
stupid
could
crap.
sell it like that strawberry, that $20 strawberry at
Yep, yep.
Erewhon.
Heard about that.
When I lived in LA, I never got into Erewhon. Like, it was
No.
only out of like, I don't know, like traffic that I would ever go to an Erewhon if I had to.
So I grew up, because when you grow up in LA, there was one Erewhon, and the Erewhon was right near where the Grove is now. It's still there. It's on it's on Beverly
Yeah.
and like Hauser-ish or
And
something.
Robertson, right? Isn't it right
No,
by
no, no.
Robertson? Oh.
No, no, Hauser-ish, like the Grove. So it's just a little bit
Oh, oh, okay.
further east of that.
Oh, I'm
Right by
thinking of
CBS Studios.
pavilions. I'm thinking
Yeah,
of
yeah, yeah.
pavilions. Okay. Yeah.
Right by
Okay.
CBS Studios. And my best friend growing up, still one of my best friends now, his
Mm.
mom was what we affectionately called a health nut. And she shopped at
Um,
Erewhon. So this was like before you had Whole Foods or like Mrs. Gooch's or any of those, like an independent,
mhm.
even co-op, like this was your place where
Mhm.
you'd go, and things were ridiculously expensive and you could get like, you know, zinc lozenges that nobody else had anywhere. Like it wasn't a thing. Like there wasn't the
Right.
internet, there wasn't like
Yeah, there
all
was
this
an
fake stuff.
Amazon,
Yeah,
right.
you couldn't just order stuff. But there wasn't even Whole Foods before Amazon, right?
Right.
It was
Mhm.
just like there was nothing. So this was the place. There was one place. She shopped there. We never knew why, but she did. And so to me, that's what Erewhon was. They have
Right.
done whatever kind of branding business they got into is bananas.
Yeah, if
We
you
should
can't
all
afford
hire their
eggs, you
branding.
cannot go to Erewhon. Okay, guys?
Yeah,
Don't go
you
to
can't
Erewhon.
afford freaking broccoli there. It's just ridiculous. To me, it's not about being able to afford it or not afford it. It's actually offensive.
Yeah,
Like,
no, it is. I agree. It's insane.
like, yeah. I like as a person. It's not like I don't treat myself to. I'm a wine person. We didn't even talk about wine.
I know we didn't
Um,
even talk about what next time you come on, we have to talk all about I thought that's what we were gonna talk about because
about wine.
my husband's become obsessed.
Oh, will
He
you
wants to
text
become
me
a
about it?
sommelier. I will. I'm gonna text you right
Fun.
after. Well,
Okay.
after my next meeting at 4
Okay.
in 5
Done.
minutes, I'm gonna text you
Yep.
after that.
Okay.
Okay?
Do it.
Thank you so much for coming on, Sarah. Sarah
Thank you
Lees,
for having
everybody.
me. Thanks for having me, Ashley.
Bye, Sarah.
Bye.
That was awesome.
Are we off?
Yeah.
It was. It
We're
was so
off.
fun.
That was so fun. I actually am really shocked